Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. We're doing a Christmas card this time, and it's going to be something that's going to be very different, and hopefully it'll work. I'm going to use multiple stamps, and I'm going to create almost like random look across here, and then colour it and do all sorts of things with it to turn it into a rather interesting Christmas card. So I'm using a few Stampin' Up sets. Don't know whether I'll use them all, but that's the sort of idea of it. I want something that I can colour. I've got the sheet music, which I've had for a long time, and I'm literally on this. I'm just going to, I just want to have a little bit of it sort of as a backgroundy bit of texture, but I don't want it to be overly precise. So I'm just going to ink up just a little bit on here and not even worry if it doesn't come out too accurately. I just literally want a bit like that, a bit like that, and a bit like that. Okay, so that's just given just a little bit of something at the back, just as a bit of interest. It's going to form no other reason than to have a bit of interest. And as I say, I didn't want sharp edges. Obviously your notes, you've got to have a sharp bit because that's the way the notes come, but I didn't want to have the side of the stamp and those sort of ends and beginnings. So that's that one. Now I've got to work out what I'm going to have as my sort of main focal. Now I've got baubles, I've got Father Christmas, I've got words and things that I can put in as well, and I might have some of those faint. I've got these lovely little mice, I've got some ornaments, and then I've got some textures and things to go on there as well. So I think I'm going to have some of these baubles. So let's have a bauble in on here. I just want to have this out in I'm going to do it in black, I think, because I want it to show up quite a bit. So I'm just going to ink these baubles up, and we'll have them just like that. Okay, so that's sort of the start, and as I say, it'll either work or it won't, and I'm not too sure. As I say, I try and bring you ideas and things that are different, and I've been seeing in the shops cards that are a real sort of mixture of everything. So they've got lots, rather than the traditional styling of stamps, they've got lots of detail and things in there. So I thought I would sort of try and recreate that a bit. So let's do some of these. These are quite nice. There's some presents on here. So let's have a present in on the side. Now I've got to be a bit careful because I don't think I've done a mask for the, let's have a look. This is where I should be little bit, yes I have. I was going to say I'm a bit more organised, and I think I have. Quite often I'll do a mask, and that's perfect. So that's going to be our centrepiece, which means that we can put a present either side and maybe even below, but definitely one present down like this, and it's not going to, there we go, it's not going to, when I take that off, the present comes behind, which is what we want. And I don't think I'm going to do any more on that one. What I might do is, because I'm going to have to do it below, I'm going to take a little piece of scrap, and I want it to be copier paper, so I want it to be something nice and thin. So let's see if I've got a little piece of that sitting about. I don't think I have. I think I need to do, oh yes, I've got a little piece here. So what I'm going to do is, on the second generation of this, I'm just going to stamp it out. So it means that I know that I can do another one with a bit of a mask, and it's not going to show too much, which is exactly what we want. So let's put this one back in on here, and I've got to work out what I'm going to do the other side. I can do something on the side and the underneath because I've got this. Let's have a tree, shall we? So I'm going to put a tree in down on. Should we have the tree in like this? And it doesn't need to be very near. I just want to have it sort of so that you can still, when you take it off, the bauble comes, the tree comes behind. So that's fine on there. I can draw that a little bit in. Again, this is just a prototype, as it were, to just see how it comes out. But I think it's going to be okay. So what else have we got? We've got do I want to have a Father Christmas? I could have a Father Christmas the other side where that present is, couldn't I? So I just need to take some scissors and just cut in. I don't need to do it at the top because I'm not doing anything on the top. So literally all I'm going to do is to cut in on the bottom, and you need to do it so that you're cutting in on the line, because otherwise you'll get a white shadow coming through. So I'm cutting in on the line, and again on the line, because by doing that you're not going to have anything that's going to go in the way. So I'm going to take that in on the line and up that way, and then literally just down on the line there. And I can keep this in the box again, and if I need to cut it out to do the top, I've then got it. So it's a good idea to have just a few little masks about. So I'm going to take this one off for a minute. I'm going to put this one in like that because I want to put I was going to have Father Christmas, wasn't I? Or I might actually have, I like this sort of jingle mouse. So what's it called? Merry Mice, the one with the choir. So he's literally singing on a choir. Now I need to get a block out because I haven't got a block that's only got my, have I got my block? Yes, I have got a bigger block. I'm going to say I didn't know whether I had a big block or not out, but I have. So I'm going to put this one on here and again ink it up. Oh, seems a bit slippery. Let's make sure we've got him stuck in on all right. Don't want him to fall off, do we? I might have to ink him up again just in case. It's the only trouble, you see, these I haven't used for quite a while, so they're quite fun getting them out again. And I know that a lot of you either are or have been stamping up customers or demonstrators, so you get quite a few. Oh, that's quite good. He hasn't quite touched on there, but I think that's fine. He's sort of coming round in that sort of arch, so that's fine on there. Let me keep that one because then we'll keep that one on there. And then I need to put so that's my mouse. I don't know whether I want to have, I was just thinking while I was doing it, do I want to have a little row of mice coming down the bottom? I could do, couldn't I? Let's see how they're going to come out that way. Do I want them, I don't want them touching. I'm going to have his little foot covered, which is a bit, I've cleaned that up, haven't I? Or if I don't have it where his foot is, I just need the bottom of the tree. because it won't matter where that is, because that's not going to come over up in on here. It's definitely the bottom of that tree, so we're going to have to do the tree part, and this is where it's a good idea to just keep going with them. So all I need to do is to just cut out a tree in my copy paper, which is just fallen down on the floor, and I don't want to get a new one out, so I'm going to use this one. And let's put this, don't need it to, it only needs to be the bottom part, doesn't it? So I don't need to overly do it, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's literally just doing little bits of masking. So this is going to come in and just go across on the bottom. So I just need to make sure I'm in on the line, and then in on this little line here. Like that. And it might come up as far as that little bauble. We'll have to see. But again, it's quite good, even if you're somebody who's got new stamps and things and you want to show off a lot of them. It's a good way of doing it as well, because you've got a lot of different stamps all together, and just by tying them together with different things, you can keep them so that they look as if they're supposed to be there. And that's why we need to, we'll do something over the top of it all at the end. But let's just take this one out like that. I need to take the little bottom off as well. There we go. Okay, so this one is going to go down in on here, just in on the bottom, and then I can put these little mice just in along on the bottom. So let's have them like that. Oh, I hope that didn't move. Don't think it did. I think it was all right. There we are. So that one literally is behind instead of in front, but that's fine. That's fine. At least it sort of all goes up to where it should be. And the mouse is coming as if it's behind. If you wanted to have it the other way round, you'd have to do the mice first and then the tree afterwards. And that's where planning it would make a little bit of a difference. This one, I'm literally just going for it because I want to just have that sort of look about it that isn't overly precise. Okay, so I've got my tree in on here, haven't I? So it means that I can do something along on the side where that tree is. And I've got to have a look and see what else I've got. Do I want to have a very thick bauble that I don't have to colour at all? I could do, couldn't I? Why don't I have this bauble, which is rather nice, or the long thin one? No, this one I think, because I can put that in far enough down. Now I need to do that in a colour, so what colour should we have it in? Let's have it in a bright red, so I'm going to go for Cherry Cobbler, which is, to me, is Christmas red. If I can get the case open, and then, whoop, that's not sticking on either, is it? I'll have to do that on there to stick it on first. Right, now let's ink it up. It's quite a juicy pad, so hopefully it'll come out all right. Okay, let's put my tree in on here, and that's on the bottom of it. So I've just got to make sure that it's just that bottom part there that comes in like that, and then I can take that off. Perfect. And it just comes in behind. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do, but you can see you can put whatever you want in on there, and you're just putting a whole pile of different things in. And it doesn't have to be, the idea is doing it so that it's fairly sort of random, doesn't have to be overly precise. And you can put little tiny weeny things in if you've got little tiny weeny things in as well, if you fancy it. So, you know, if you've got a little tiny robin or something, that would work quite well just in that little space. I don't think I've got a little robin. I might have some little stars, because I'm not going to go away and get anything. I've got a tiny little bauble. Don't think that little bell. I just want to put something just there, I think. I've got some little stars. What have I got in on this one? I've got the Christmas words. Aha, here we go. Look at this. I've got a little baubley thing on there, haven't I? So I can put that in on the red. Where's that? There we go. Let's have this little tiny baubley thing. I need to clean that one off. Okay, so, and as I say, this is something that you're either going to go like, oh yeah, no, actually I really like that, or you're going to go, nah, it's not my cup of tea. And it doesn't really matter. It's just, sometimes when you do what they call art, you do art because it looks good and you don't have to worry too much about what you're doing. So I'm just going to literally just add a little, this sort of little bell. Now it comes like that, doesn't it? So I want to try and get it in. That's the little present there, and I just want to put it there like that. So then when I take it off, it's just behind. That's perfect. That's filled that little space. So I'm happy with the composition now. Now all I've got to do is to do some colouring, and I'm going to do the whole thing with you, so it's probably going to be quite a long video. You can obviously speed it up if you want to. You can go and grab yourself a cup of coffee and sit down and just listen, you know, have fun with it. That's what I tend to do. I'm somebody who just likes to craft and bring you along with me. Now, do I have, I want a word in here, don't I? I quite like the oh what fun, because this is quite a fun thing, isn't it? Have I got, where does it say oh what fun? Oh, isn't it funny? Oh, that must be it on here. Oh, what fun. So let me see where I can put that. I can put that in like that, I think, can't I? So I'm just going to put that in there. Then I've got that in the position I want. I'm just going to put it in on here, and then I can put it in. I'm just going to do it in black because I don't know quite what colour will work, but black I know will work. So let's just stamp that up, and we're going to put oh what fun on here. Now it's going to go over or near his foot, but I think that'll be all right. Oh what fun. Perfect. So I just need to colour his foot in something pale, and then it won't come out too much. Okay, so that, I will put all of these little pieces and things away. I'm just going to move them to one side for the moment, because then it's not going to be too long. And I'm just going to take some colours out and just do a bit of colouring. It's going to be quite quick. Right, let's have some red, because we've got red in on here. So I'm going to take this, which is a dark, these alcohol markers, so I can just take them in, and I'm just going to just do his hat. Like this. Now I could bring you in close to see it, but I don't think, we have a look and see. I don't think it's really of a huge amount of benefit. Right, I'm going to do his little scarf as well. and I'm not doing it striped, I'm just doing it round. It's down there. Decided I need to get some glasses for doing crafting, because my eyesight is not getting, it's not very good for close-up stuff anymore. So if I can do it, I think any of you can do it, because it's I'm going to do this in a light actually, I think, because then I don't need to, on his little hat, that's his Christmas hat. He can have red trousers. This is only so I don't have to worry about doing too many colours on here. And we can have, oh, red bauble, or some red baubles on there, and maybe that one. Okay, oh, and maybe some of the, should we have the present and the bow in red? No, I'm going to do some other colours. So let's grab some green out. That's going to be quite a nice green, I think, sort of a Christmassy green, isn't it? Let's go with the light on that. So that's going to be my tree. I can bring that out there. Bring this down. So while I'm colouring, how are you all doing? I hope you're all well. It's, we're now well into coming up thinking about Christmas time. Wonder if you all spend it with your family, or whether you spend Christmas on your own. So I'm very lucky, I have my family near to me, so they're very good. I have 2 boys and daughter-in-laws, and then I have 6 grandchildren, and they're lovely. They always invite me over for Christmas. It's one of those things that they won't have me on my own on Christmas Day, so I spend Christmas Day at one of the boys, and we alternate it each year, and then Boxing Day I spend it at the other one, and so I'm fed and spoilt, and it's lovely. But having 6 grandchildren, it means that I have lots of presents to make, and as they're getting bigger, they have to be more grown-up presents, shall we say. So, you know, it tends to be a lot of money, but I do like to do little presents and things as well. So, you know, I do try and get some nice little bits and make them little things. They do like having things that I make. They're so used to it that they, you know, they enjoy the things that I make, which is nice. Okay, so that's my green. Then I'm going to do a yellow, because I like yellow in here. And again, I'm going to do it in the dark. So we'll have the star. So yeah, so I wonder how many of you have family that are near enough for you to go and visit at Christmas time, or whether your family's a long way away. It's one of those times of year, you either love it or you hate it. And I think as a crafter, we love it because we do an awful lot with it. But it can be quite a lonely time for people. So, you know, I'm always mindful of that, and you know, try and not make a huge thing about it, because it is that sort of I'm just looking to see which blue I want to use. That's a turquoise blue. Ice blue, probably not. What's that? True blue. Let's have true blue. And we'll have that in that little bauble can be a true blue. It's very pale actually, isn't it? I want that darker than that. I want it to be sort of Christmassy looking. So that can be on there. he can have a blue jumper. And as I say, it's one of those things that you just build up your colours the way you fancy doing it. I'm literally trying to think what to do as the present. And I think I'm going to have blue stripes. So I'm going to take this across there. Like that. Now what we're going to have that's going to go with blue. Difficult one, isn't it? Put some blue to tone it up. So that's all my... we can have a blue pot as well, actually. Could be a brown pot. These are a little twinkly lights. So I need to put these on. They can be little blue twinkly lights, can't they? She's carrying along. She can have a little blue bow in her hair. Okay, now let's have we got a bit of pink? Have we got a bright pink, or that's a dusky pink, isn't it? That might be quite nice. That might be a combination of it's more of a purpley pink, which will go quite nicely with her little dress. As I say, I'm not doing any shading or anything on this at all because it would take too long. As I say, it's the sort of thing that you stamp it all up, and then you're probably going to end up spending the best part of the day just having a real old play with it, because that will give you an idea of all of the different sort of colours and things that you can blend it in together. And I'm doing these fairly muted. You can do them really bright if you want, and they look really nice if you do a card that's quite bright. But this one is turning out a bit muted, but I think it'll be fine. I think once we've got it all together, it will work quite well. I've got the bow coming down on there. I'm just going to keep it those two-tone colours. Now he needs some trousers on, doesn't he? What are we going to have for his trousers? That's sort of a jadey green, isn't it? Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's quite nice. It's a bit brighter, isn't it? So there's his little trousers. Like that. Now, what colour are we going to do his shirt? Should we do it a mid-tone? Or are we going to do it... yes, I'm going to do it a mid-tone, I think, of the same colour. Just to colour it in. Little jumper. Very sweet like this, but you can see how it sort of builds in together to give you a blended card. And as I say, by the time we've finished, we're going to add other things in there. Now I need a grey. Have I got a grey? Ice grey. That's a good coloured grey, isn't it? Let's use that one. I'm going to start with the pale to just see what it's like on the little mice. Perfect. So I'm just colouring him. Little feet, little hands. Because mice can be brown or they can be grey. So, you know, again, whatever you've got. Face, and he's going to have, okay, is that his tummy? I think it is. He's just going to have a jacket on, I think. There we go. And this is the other mouse, so we'll have all of them in the pale grey. Do his little what do you call it, his little nose. We'll do that a bit darker. there, that little foot there. Now, oops, missed that bit on there, didn't I? Okay, now we've got the middle one. The middle one's going to be for the nose, and then this is going to be for the lovely baubles or bells, so they look like sort of silvery grey bells. And then I'm going to use the darkest one just for the centre. Got a little bit of paper on there. And then this is the last one of the colouring. And as I say, when you do it, you can see that I'm rushing this, but I just want to give you the idea of once it's finished, how you can make it look, and it will look really rather good. So I am rushing this. Excuse the squeaking if you can hear it. These pens on paper is quite squeaky sometimes. But I'm just bringing it across so that then this bit is finished. And as I say, you know, you're going to spend more time than me. I am rushing this. I'm fully aware I'm rushing it. But it's to give you the idea of once you've coloured it. Now I need the dark just to go over the band of the bell. Like that. And his little nose. And then I just want to have just a little bit of shadow coming down where the bell meets the other part of the bell on here, so they look separate. And as I say, I would normally blend it, got to blend it a little bit, but blend it in better so it comes up nicely. But you've now got your sort of scene going on. Now we need to sort of bring it all in together. And this is where you take, let me take this, just for fun, and put that back in there. You take a patterned stamp of some sort. Now you could take the musical notes and do that all the way over, but I really like this one, which is the Timeless Textures. You could do whatever you wanted on this, but I think the Timeless Textures look really good. And they're, again, they are very forgiving, shall we say. So you don't have to do it too much. And I want to do it in, what colour are we going to do it in? I want to do it in something which is quite Christmas-y. I think I'm going to do it in green, actually. So this is a dark green, and I'm literally going to stamp this up, and we're going to start in the corner up here. Now I'm not going to start at the bottom so I can see it, so just stamp it in the bottom, and we're just going to work our way all the way across, and then coming back up again. We can take some up this direction. Let's take it up this way. And by doing this, what you're doing is you are giving the whole thing a uniform sort of look over the top of it. Then we need to do some colour around the edges. And I don't know whether to go with green or whether to go with red, because we've got quite a lot of red in there, haven't we? And even though the background is a different colour, I think I am going to go with red, because I think the red will just bring it all in together, and I think you'll then sort of have a bit more of an idea of how it's going to go. So I've just got a bit of red on here, and let me just grab the ink pad. Now I could do something toned down a bit, but I think the red's going to work. It's going to be quite bright, but I think it will work. So let's take it from the edge. We're just going to take it up. A lot more around the edge than we want in anywhere else. So just taking, I haven't re-inked at all. You can see I'm just literally taking it across. This is really nice and bright. Just a bit more so I can get on the edge. Round in on the corner here. Take it from that edge and then round. So your edges are nice and deep, but the rest isn't as deep, because then that gives you, yes, you see, I like that. I think that's worked quite well. So I could take, and I think I might do, because I would like it to be a little bit sort of bright. This is, and as I say, it's your own style and your own taste in this. Just dry that off, squeak, squeak. I'm going to put some gold, I think, or maybe silver around the edge. Let me just have a look and see which ones I've got. So I could do gold or I could do silver. What do we reckon? The baubles and things are silver, aren't they? So maybe I should do silver. Silver's going to be pale, but I think silver might work quite well. I could do a matte of silver, but I think I just want to have a bit of silver around the edge. And then we can see, because the silver will pick up like the grey. So I don't want it dark, dark. I don't think, do I want black? I think I might do black, actually. Changing my mind on silver. I don't think silver is going to show up enough. It's going to be too pale, and it's just going to, I want it to stand out on the card, so let me just do it with black. And again, this is, I'm using it quite a lot at the moment because I'm doing this crafting so that we're trying to be quite frugal. And it's one of those things that we used to do it all the time before we had bought lots of cardstock and stuff. And then we got into this trap of buying, you know, doing lots of layers and things. And don't get me wrong, sometimes layers look beautiful. I've done some cards recently where I've done things with layers, particularly at Christmas time, and they look lovely. But in the same respect, if you're doing a card like this, which again is quite a modern styling, you know, if you're a traditionalist and you love your traditional Christmas cards, it's not going to be one for you. But that's fine, because I've done mixtures of all sorts, as you know. So, you know, you can have, you know, lots of ones in there. Just need to take that one there. I've just missed that little edge bit there. Okay, so that's better. You can see how black framing it has just brought it all in. The Oh What Fun isn't quite as dark as I probably would have liked it. But, you know, hey-ho, it is what it is. It'll be okay. So if I then take a white card base and put this in on top like that, you can see how you've got all of this sort of colour and stuff coming across, and it makes quite a fun card. Now, I'm going to show you, because I think I've done a couple like this before, so I'm going to show you another one to just give you an idea of how you can build it up with things. So this is one that I did There we go. And I did it with the car as the focal point. And I've done it far more in yellows and things, so it's a bit brighter. So you can see the difference. And I just added all sorts of bits and pieces on here. And they're both very different. But they're both, as I say, that was the first one I did. And I enjoyed it so much that I thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to do another one and show you all. So this one hasn't got quite as much on it as this one. You can see on this one, I've done lots and lots and lots on it. And I think that works as well. And I've done the background on this one. I did it in black. This one, I've done it in green. But again, they're both, I think, great fun cards to make. And they are, you know, they're just something which is very different, but is quite modern in styling, and you know, is something that you can do and use as many of your stamps as you want to. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will put a little bit of sparkle on here because I quite like sparkle for Christmas, but I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.